Good morning, everybody. It's January the 9th, 2011. Woke up this morning, read my local news, and found some disparaging news, actually. Our city council right now is debating over whether or not to enforce what's called free speech zones in my city of Colorado Springs, Colorado. What that basically means is they're going to designate areas to where you can have free speech and other areas to where you cannot have free speech. This is unconstitutional and it's wrong. They're throwing out every excuse in the book as to why they want to do this. As you know, they want to do this to stop panhandling downtown, homeless people asking for money. What the root cause is they're trying to curb the Occupy movement that's in our city. Folks, this is scary news as well as sad news that they actually think they can get away with this. Not a lot of people in our city are aware of this, because it took me a while to find it. I heard it through a friend, and I read our newspapers, and I look at our local news, and it wasn't reported. It was reported in what was called The Independent, and they broke the story first, as far as I can tell. This just goes to show that people say that their rights aren't being infringed upon, and it never will happen to them, that this indeed can happen to them. Colorado Springs is leading the charge right now to take away our civil liberties. Another thing that I heard today that's actually great news is that Adam Kokesh is organizing a march on the White House, February the 20th on President's Day. They're going to march from the Capitol, or they're going to march from the monument to the White House, turn their back on the White House, showing that they do not support the current president, and they're going to show support for Ron Paul, as well as honoring the dead that have died in these needless wars under Obama. This is for all active duty military and veterans alike. I'm going to try to make that march myself, and I encourage all veterans that are able to do this as well. Even if you can't afford it, ask people. Right now airlines are cheap. I found fare today for $300 to fly there and back. So that's great news that it's not as expensive as it could be, and people should help you out. Talk to your freedom lovers, your family members and friends to see if they'll help you. Something happened over the weekend. I got in a big debate with a guy about Iran having nuclear weapons. That was a long, drawn-out discussion, if you will. And I don't think people realize that if we go to war with Iran, it's going to be a different story. They're backed by China and Russia. This is how world wars start. This won't be quick and easy, and it doesn't have to happen. People that voted for Bush, they voted for him for the reason that he said peace through diplomacy. And he didn't do that, and our president definitely isn't doing that. It's a continuation of Bush policies. We need to let people know. They need to sit down and logically think about, the repercussions of what happens if we go to war. With the president wanting to cut the military down and everything else. I mean, if he cuts the military down, what do you do to get troops again? Because that's pretty much layoffs for the United States military. It sounds like to me the only way you could raise troops after that would be through conscription or the draft. I mean, that may not happen, but I think it's a real possibility if they cut the military numbers like they're saying. So, this could affect you, your family members, your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, cousins, aunts, uncles, everybody if there's a draft, because they're going to take who they can take again. Folks, this is a revolution. We're all in this together. We need to band together. We need solidarity. We need to act as one unit. Don't get discouraged with Ron Paul finishing third in Iowa. That's great. As long as this is a marathon. It's not a race. Don't believe what the media tells you that this is going to be decided in just two primaries, or a primary and a caucus, because it's not. Iowa was an unbound caucus, so that means the delegates that whoever won the delegates, they don't have to go with Rick Santorum or Mitt Romney. They can actually go to Ron Paul. So those two delegates are still up in the air. Ron Paul just needs to finish in the first, second, third of all these primaries and caucuses, and he can win the nomination. So don't get discouraged. There's a Facebook group called, I believe it's Free Supplies for Ron Paul. They'll send you free campaign supplies, bumper stickers, lapel pens, whatever, and all they ask in return is if you make a donation to help cover the cost of postage. You can if you want to. You don't have to. I sent my request out last night. I actually got an email from the guy last night saying that he is sending my package of campaign supplies. So go there if you want bumper stickers and everything else. Continue to make donations if you can. $20.12. That's not a whole lot to do once a month or once every 2 months. Every little bit helps. We need to get these Rick Santorums and Newt Gingriches out of the way, so it can just be Ron Paul and Mitt Romney, because Mitt Romney's not going anywhere. All the elitists want him. But there's more of us than there are these elitist guys. More people love freedom than corporations. We need to band together. Like I said, solidarity. Show our force for Ron Paul. Every day, get up and do something that shows that you support Ron Paul. Whether it's slapping a bumper sticker on your car, wearing a pin that says Ron Paul, whatever you want to do. Just make sure people know you support Ron Paul. And when they ask questions, you smile and you give them the information. If they say, do you think he can make it, or he's not electable, you tell them, oh yes he is, because I'm going to vote for him and my voice can be heard as long as as long as everyone else votes. And everybody that says they support the military, if you support the military, listen to them. The military is overwhelmingly supporting Ron Paul. I mean, come on. Just tying a yellow ribbon on something doesn't show you support the troops. Actually, get behind the troops. Show them that you understand what they're saying, that you understand that these are the guys fighting the wars, not us at home sitting in our cozy houses. Or even the veterans, you know where they've been. And most veterans, they support Ron Paul. I mean, go to look up Veterans for Ron Paul. Lots and lots of 8,000 members, I think, is part of that, and growing. We need to band together. We can do this. Every day, every day it shows in the media how people are downplaying Ron Paul. The more they do it, the more his message is getting through. You need to remember that, and the more you need to push for it. If you get on Fox News or any other place, you get in a discussion on Facebook, make sure you tell who you support and why. They cannot argue with the logic that Ron Paul puts forth. Everyone loves peace. Everyone wants security. That is the message: peace and security for this nation. And people cannot argue with that. And they start trying to talk about Iran, you just tell them to think about it logically, because it doesn't make sense. This is a little different blog post, or I don't know what you call it, video blog, than I normally do. But please continue to spread this. Do what you can for motivation. Listen to patriotic songs. Reread your Constitution. Do what you've got to do. When somebody says something that's unconstitutional, that should be law, you tell them, point it out. No, it's not supposed to be this way. This is the way it says it is. And just continue your support for Ron Paul. Thank you guys. I'll be coming back with another video shortly, I'm sure. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. And remember, Ron Paul 2012. It's going to happen.